So welcome to JG's Fight Talk, sponsored by Richest Boxing and Limitless Creations. And with me now, I've got Chris Sarro. How you doing, Chris?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
Honestly, it's a pleasure, mate. As I say, I don't normally say it to people, but I'm a big fan of yours. I love the way you fight. Very much heart on your sleeve, warrior. You leave it all out there. And yeah, I think that's probably that intense Italian blood you've got in your system.
I'd say so. Yeah, it definitely came from my father and not my mother. So makes sense. But yeah, no, thank you, man. Thank you. Looking forward to getting back in there very soon. Very soon.
So, you know, being a good looking chap, why did you pick bare knuckle boxing? Because it's a pretty ugly sport, isn't it? If you get hit in the wrong way.
Yeah, but ugly, it depends on who, it depends on the person. To me, nothing seems more exciting than bare knuckle boxing. I mean, that's the most. I turned pro at 30 years old, right before I turned 31, and I wasn't looking to spend a decade, in the pro boxing ranks and go through that circuit. And same with MMA. Although I made my debut in MMA, I had a deal with Dave Feldman pretty much, where if I won my debut fight in MMA and won it by knockout, that he would sign me for a 3 deal. And I won by the first 3-fight deal, and I couldn't be happier, because I've done it, across the board. I've done it all when it comes to combat sports, but there's nothing like that feeling, man. Coming out to know that you are there's nothing in between, your bones and his bones. It's a pretty primal moment for sure, and most exciting shit in the world.
Yeah,
Can't get any more exciting than that.
It's going back to that sort of gladiatorial fighting back in the day, isn't it? Back to basics,
Okay.
no gloves, all out, physicality between two people.
Yep.
And
without the animals and the alligators.
Yeah, definitely. And you started off with a bang in November 2019 against McAllister, where you got your first round knockout. Yeah, you smashed him. There's no messing about, is there? And then straight on to July 2020, you did the same with Jones.
Yep. It was a hell of a start. And yeah, it was a crazy year and a half right there, and that was quite the way to jumpstart a career. Kind of threw me right in, head first, and had to get, catching up and learning real quick. But yeah, it was an absolute blast. When I came to Biloxi, there was no losing. When I made my debut, and we actually, it was the first time getting flown somewhere and paid, decent penny to throw down live on pay-per-view. And all my home state of Maine and New England, the whole world was watching. And I was not losing that night. You watch when I walked out, it didn't matter if it was, Alistair Overeem, Vitor Belfort, Tank Abbott in his prime. I was ready. I was taking anyone on, and happened to be McAllister that night. And yeah, man, that was quite the jump start right there into this promotion. And then Victor Jones, it was quite the gap, because we had just had the COVID scare and all that stuff. But yeah, man, yeah, some momentum getting going right there for sure.
Yeah, well, and let's be honest. The 2 fights following that, you're never in a boring fight, Chris, are you? Let's be honest. The punches that were being thrown in the Burns fight was absolutely ridiculous. The two of you literally just going toe to toe with each other, and it was a case of who was going to hit hardest first, wasn't it?
Yeah. Kill or be killed.
Yeah.
A fight is since my first pro fight is I want the audience to feel it in their chest. I don't want a knockout that looks like every other knockout. I don't want a fight that looks like the fight before it and the fight before that. You know, when you watch a lot of fights on TV, you know, every left hook looks the same, every post-fight interview sounds the same, and you know, I dig deeper. I want everyone. I want it to be an experience instead of just another cliche fight that you've seen. You know, and I always say there's never going to be an ass in their seat. I've said that since my debut. You know, in MMA, and there's yet to be an ass in their seat. You know, and for me, that's the recipe. You know, you come to kill. You know, leave on your shield or leave with that. Leave with their held high, and that's my rule of thumb. And if that's the case, you really can't lose. You know, everyone's happy. Yeah, obviously, it's you know. Yeah.
I remember at ringside, Shaq O'Neal was there, wasn't he? And he was commentating,
Oh, yeah.
and he turned around and he said about your fight, and he was saying, "This is what it's all about." You know, two guys going at it. This is what we're here to see, excitement. This is why it stands out. And he kept saying, this is the future. This is what people are going to want to see. The raw, you know, just adrenaline rush of bare knuckle boxing, you know, and he just kept saying, this is the future, you know, and that didn't stop. I know you didn't get the victory in April this year, but another fight where you just went out there and you just tore it up. Basically, it was a case of, as you say, it's do or die, and he had a fair whack on him, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No. He. Yeah. No. That was a good one. You know, there was a lot of complications leading up to that health wise, but take nothing from Ezatula. That was he's that man has a hell of a chin. You know, I've never seen in a fight someone do a 360 after getting punched, let alone me be the one do it. But when he did that 360, you know, I went somewhere else for a couple seconds there, you know, and then came back into my body. And, you know, they're all fun to me. You know, it's for me, when I get out of that ring, when the audience, you know, and fans come up to me and they say, we don't even know who won or lost. We just, you know, that was so awesome. That to me, that's like the best kind of compliment, you know?
Yeah.
And you give them the fans what they came for, you know? And it's impossible for me to have a boring fight. Impossible. I don't know what that means. I like smashing. I like adrenaline. I like the fear of it, walking out. All of that, you know, it fuels me. And yeah, man, I can't wait to get back in there. Just talking about it right now, it's like, it gives me goosebumps.
Well, hopefully, as you were saying, it's going to be sort of between October to December sort of time at the moment. I know nothing's in sort of place at the moment, but you know, all going well, we get to see Chris back doing what he loves doing.
Oh yeah, before the year's out, you'll get to see me in there again. I can't say, you know, give details and things like that, but I can say definitely before this year's out, you are going to see me back in there again, throwing down and in best shape of my life. You know, those last two fights, I wouldn't trade them for $1 million because it's what needed to happen in those moments. That's how this game goes. And what I've taken and learned, you know, from my last two fights, you can't put a price on it. You can't. You'll see it. You'll see it when I come back out, you know, next time. But yeah. I started camp a few weeks ago, and I had to come home. Had a few matters to take care of, but I'll be back in Detroit. I'll be flying out in about a week to BKFC 20. Excuse me. I'll be there for Josh Burns, who, my former opponent now, very good friend. He's a good man and a hell of an athlete. And we've been training side by side for the last few weeks in Detroit. And so yeah, so anyone listening, we have got to punch each other quite a bit since our fight, and we love it. But no, he has a big fight coming up against Sam Shoemaker. And,
Yeah, massive fight.
Massive.
Do you think
event.
do you think Josh has got that?
Oh, 100%, 100%. You know, the thing with Sam, I'm not gonna, bad talk anybody, but Sam's ducked Josh, a handful of times, and that's how me and Josh ended up fighting. Was he was set to fight Sam, and Sam backed out. I was set to fight Dylan Kleckler, and Dylan backed out. And me and Josh don't back out of fights or say no. So the promotion came to both of us. They came to me. They said Josh Burns. I was like, hell yeah. And they were like, really? Because I had to gain 40 pounds. I was like, yeah. Oh, I can't say no. That's what I need to
gaining 40 pounds ain't a problem though, is it? Because all you got to do is eat.
It's not a problem. It was a lot of chocolate milk and a lot of cheeseburgers. But, I don't recommend that to anyone. I had to cut it all right back off to get that down to 205. But 205 is my home. That's where I'm optimal. But I will fight. I proved to the promotion, and to myself, foremost, I will fight anybody. I will never say no. I will always show up in shape, and they're gonna get a show. So that's what ended up happening was Sam had ducked Josh, for who knows what reason. It gets annoying when fighters do that because guys like me and Josh, we're all in, and so we're going along training, fully committed, and that's not always the case with other athletes, and I can't speak for them, but yeah, I think Josh has this. We've been putting in the work. I've been right, I've been doing camp right along with him, and we don't post, the actual grind. But I can assure you that man is not smashing rocks in the Ozark. He's putting in quality work, getting in some quality rounds, some quality fighters. And he's got a great camp, Victorious MMA and F3 Fitness out in Detroit. And a great group of guys. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. And probably not as much as him. He's been itching to get Sam, but yeah, it's going to be a good one. No one's walking out of that one.
So is there anyone in particular that you're looking forward to getting in the ring with? Is there any names that you kind of look at and think, I want to fight him?
It's an interesting question because I honestly would like to fight them all. It's not as much about fighting as it is. I truly love the sport. I love the sport of boxing and fighting in general. And, I'm a very technical fighter. So I'm always studying, watching, every other opponent, in the 205 division, studying their styles, wondering how we would match up. So it's a guaranteed yes, for any single one of them that wants it. And by this point, I'm pretty sure everyone in BKFC, especially, in the light heavyweight division knows that I will never turn down a fight, that I'm game to fight all of them. But I'm also, I'm not an ass. A lot of us, we're all friends too. It's what we do for work. We just love, we love violence. No way around it, pretty much. So we just all found a healthy, legal, productive way of getting it out of our system.
Well, exactly. And that sounds the perfect way, to be honest. But Chris, all I'll say is keep up the good work, mate. And I'm so glad that you're feeling better. And, because COVID, whether people agree with it or not, it's out there and it's a dangerous thing. And you know that firsthand now, and I'm glad you're all right. And we get to see you back on your feet and doing what you do, hopefully in October. I know, mate. I'm desperate to see you back in the ring, mate. And
thank you.
Make sure you keep in touch. It'd be
absolutely
good to get you back on when you've beaten that guy, and then we can start looking at who you're going to fight after that.
Absolutely. I'm sure I'll give you. I like to give everyone a jingle. Fight day gets my nerves out, so I'll put you on the list and keep your phone on, and I'll give you a jingle while I'm crying, sucking my thumb backstage, waiting. No, man. No, I appreciate you having me on, man. You know, and I can't wait to get back in there, entertain all you guys. And I can't guarantee how it's gonna be, how it's gonna end, but I can guarantee this is going to be my best showing ever. You know, I finally have a solid camp that just filled with big guys my size. You know, sparring was a big issue. I've never really had sparring where I live. You know, I'm the only one doing what I'm doing. So I finally have a full camp with big, scary, talented, athletic dudes that love to bang, and they're helping me big time. And so you're going to see a whole new Sarro pretty soon here for sure.
Oh, honestly,
Get my third medal finally.
yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely, mate. And you're deserving of it. As I say, you know, I think in a lot of those fights, you just deserve one anyway. Anyone that steps in those ropes, especially in the bare knuckle world, deserves something out of it, because it's a tough sport, and you know, everyone that goes in is a warrior and deserves full respect, in my opinion. So,
Absolutely.
Chris, thank you very much for coming on. And as I say, keep in touch. I'll send you a message as soon as we finish, and yeah, we'll speak soon.
Sounds good, Joel. Hey, thank you.
No worries. You take care, mate.
You too, brother. Thank you.
See you later. Chris Sarro, what a nice guy. As I say, 4 fights, 2 wins, 2 knockouts, and hoping to get back out in October. If you haven't seen him fight, he's part of the BKFC, and yeah, there's some great stuff happening over there. So tune into it on BKTV, and I'll see you all soon. As I say, tune in to JG's Fight Talk, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you all soon. Take care.
Oh, you